And we are live. It is day two of the test match between India and Australia, pink ball, and it's going to be a very important day for India. Can the Indian bowlers take control of the situation from here on? Let's go to Debashish first. He's bringing us all these incredible visuals. People lining up already. Still a lot of crowd there. Debashish, tell us about the mood. What's it like?
Yeah, Gargi, it's already a sold out. Day two of the pink ball test is already a sold out even before a ball is bowled on day two. So clearly, the, nu- the spectators that are not in numbers. And yesterday I did show you the visuals of people standing and queuing, but today there are more people waiting. So clearly, today being a Saturday, so clearly you could see a huge turnout, and it's as expected, it's going to be a sold out.
Bhola, before we talk about the contest at hand, let's talk about the crowd because what we've seen yesterday and today as well, people keep talking about how Test cricket is dying and no one watches it. Clearly, that's wrong.
Just to put it on record, already all ballots for the Lord's Test for next year is sold out. All ballots for Oval is sold out. Last 3 months, if anybody follows India England, the Test series for next year is sold out. Okay, so that is the kind of Test cricket craze that you have in the United Kingdom and in Australia. The question of Test cricket dying doesn't arise. When India plays in Melbourne, you will see 100,000 crowd. When you play in Sydney, you see a 45,000 sellout crowd in Sydney. That's the kind of Test cricket madness that you will see. And by the way, these are, I think this is the East Gate or one of those gates. Always the case in Adelaide, either the North South Gate or the East Gate. Must be. Yeah, see, that's the South Gate, I think. Yeah, okay. So there is, so you people come in from the bridge and just keep walking there. So you come by train, public transport is excellent. So you get to the station, and then all you need to do is walk 10 minutes. Must be incredibly nice weather. People are wearing shorts and their felt hats and stuff like that. So Test cricket in Australia and England is a very different ball game. If anyone has watched and covered Test cricket in these two countries, will tell you, Caribbean has kind of gone down a little bit, but Barbados still great. South Africa also around Boxing Day, but these two countries primarily, England and Australia, Test match cricket is at a completely different level to any other country. This is incredible to see.
Bharat, what do you say about this? I mean, people in our comments also talking about how this sudden love for Test cricket has to do a lot with the menace that the ODI cricket was. But clearly, that's another debate. But this is incredible to watch, isn't it? Look at that face painted, hair made of whatever that was. But there's the Dhol Tasha that we were seeing yesterday, the Bharat Army. How incredible is this to watch, Bharat?
Yeah, in Adelaide, Sydney, Melbourne, you always expect good crowds for Test cricket. That's always there. Maybe if you go down to Perth somewhere around that Western Australia, Northern Territory, that is where you don't get much support for cricket in Australia. But Sydney, Adelaide, Melbourne, to some extent, Gabba, you always get good support for Test cricket. In Australia, there is still there are a lot of fans for Test cricket, so that is something I would say. Definitely in England, in India also, for this India New Zealand series, I saw decent crowds. Somewhere it's outside of big three. If you really want to think about Test cricket not doing well, it's somewhere in West Indies where you would hardly see 20, 30 fans for a for Test match every single day, or maybe in Durban when recently when Sri Lanka played against South Africa, there was sparse crowd. Yeah, maybe outside of big three, you won't see much crowd. Though I'm seeing in the New Zealand Test series, there are enough fans. So most of them must be Barmy Army, but still there are enough fans for that New Zealand England Test series. So I think Test cricket has its own rich heritage. It has its own tradition. So I think it will somehow survive. Maybe not in all 9 countries, but in 10 years' time, maybe 5, 6 countries, but it will still survive. The problem is somewhere I guess with ODI cricket, I think ODI cricket is facing a much bigger problem because it has to directly compete with T20 cricket. Test cricket is completely different from T20 cricket facilities. But coming back to Adelaide crowd, it's great to see. It's always been the case for 3 decades. Whatever cricket I've watched in Adelaide, you will get good crowds, especially for day-night tests. And yeah, it's wonderful to see so many fans turning up.
See, Gargi, 2 points here.
Yeah,
2 points. One, what Bharat is saying about ODI cricket. Bilateral cricket has lost relevance. Scrap it.
absolutely.
Keep ODI cricket in multi-nation formats, whether it is a World Cup or a Champions Trophy, it will have relevance. Stop bilateral series because it has zero relevance. Test match cricket is a different ball game. T20 cricket has taken over as the shorter format where you can keep bilaterals as well. And then you have your franchise leagues and you have your World Cup. But as far as the 50 over contest is concerned, keep the Champions Trophy, keep the World Cup. Because if you see the 2023 World Cup in India, tremendous response. Tremendous. I mean, imagine the tickets for India, Pakistan. Imagine India, South Africa at Eden Gardens. You were there with me. You were there here. You were in Calcutta at that point in time. So Eden Gardens was packed. All of the stadiums, Ahmedabad, etc., were packed. So you have to have relevance. Unless you are able to maintain relevance, you will not get crowds. Australia. There are two reasons why Australia and England, it's like this when an India team plays. The diaspora is massive. Victoria, the largest number of South Asians, or rather the largest number of immigrants are South Asians. And I've lived in Victoria. I've lived in Melbourne and taught at the University of La Trobe and Monash for years. I've worked for Monash. So I know, I mean, the kind of when I used to first go and then over a period of time, the number of Indians, South Asians going up and up and up. When you go to Melbourne now, when you go on the 21st, you will be in downtown Melbourne. Downtown Melbourne, and every nook and every kind of gully, every street, you will have an Indian eatery. You will have an Indian eatery. You have spice stores. So all you need, whether it is a dosa, whether it is a South Indian food or something, or a samosa or whatever, or if you want those ready to make food items that you can get from a departmental store, they're readily available for you. You actually get better masala. If you want to cook, these are all sociological points that a country or a city or a state, how they have appropriated South Asian food and culture. It's massive. And look at these crowds to come and witness. And it's also family. Test cricket is also about family. Yes, there is a Bay 13 and the madness in Melbourne and the abuse and the drinking culture and all of that. You will face that also, by the way. One time what happened was Gideon Haig and I were doing live. An idiot came from behind, snatched my microphone and ran away. Such kind of rubbish happens. In Australia, always happens. Somebody will come and strip behind you to deliberately spoil your show. So and must be inebriated idiots. So such things also happen. There is an undercurrent, but at the same time, the kind of culture that you see. So my point is always this: sport is not about runs and wickets. Sport is not about just a result. Sport is about understanding culture. Through the prism of sport, you understand society, you understand economy, you understand politics, you understand हम लोग जो जिसको समाज कहते हैं, that is what you try to understand through the video of sport, through the prism of sport. That's why when you cover a series, when you cover Boxing Day, you must cover that. Don't just go and cover Bumrah versus Usman Khwaja. That is not the centerpiece. Yes, that is the match and you have been there for that, but who covers the fan? Tell me, what is the story of this fan? Tell me, this guy who's playing the dhol, what is the story of this fan who is playing the dhol here? Where does he come from? What is his background? How did he come to do this in Adelaide? What are these malas that he's wearing? How come the Bharat Army presence is like this? What is the sociological story? Sadly, our coverage doesn't do that. We are still focused on the stadium, the pitch, what is happening between bat and ball, and everybody else. The fan is not relevant as far as cricket coverage is concerned. That is where you need to make a difference.
Lots of comments over what we're seeing right now. Maverick is saying, "My God, is this SCG or Mahakumbh Mela gathering? It is neither. It is the Adelaide Oval. It's not the SCG." But these are great visuals. Great visuals. Abra Jyoti is saying, "Kal ke videos chala rahe." Nahi, Baba. This is today. So you can actually see that there are similar crowds on day 1 and day 2 as well. So Maverick saying video footage is breathtaking. Absolutely. We have pictures of the pitch as well. I'm going to remove this for a little bit. Shubhayan has sent us these pictures of this is the Indian team warming up there, and there it is. There's the pitch. Bharat, if I were to ask you, how much of an advantage would India have going into bowling today? Jasprit Bumrah with the ball, and looking at the pitch, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's 6 mm grass. There's 6 mm grass. There's a fair amount of grass on the pitch. So it will do something even today. Maybe not as much as yesterday, but it'll definitely do something of the same. Yesterday, India didn't get the lines right, didn't get the lengths right. They were a little, whatever I saw, they were a little too short and also a little too wide. So they have to make the batters play. Obviously, it's now 25 overs, 30 overs old. So Kokabara ball after 30 overs, it doesn't do much of the same. So I guess in India yesterday we wasted the new ball, but it's a fresh day. They can come back. They can. There's a fresh day. Day two is different, so they can come back thinking that yeah, we will start afresh and try to hit the lines and try lines and get some wickets. So important that India make it count the first 45 minutes, first hour, because if Australia say 120 for one, 130 for one, then it is going to be very difficult to come back, bounce back from there.
For Obro Jyoti, who was saying this is from yesterday, simple answer, Obro. Look at the color of the sky and you will know. Yesterday it was overcast. So you will clearly have an idea when this footage is from. This footage is from the last couple of hours, 1 hour, because Devashish Shubha and Rohit Juglan have been at the stadium for the last 2 hours. So give credit to them, the hard work that people are putting in. That is what you have to do. My problem with today, what Bharat was saying, the ball is old. It's 30 overs old, and a pink Kookaburra will not do as much. So that's where the Indians will have to be far more disciplined. Make them play, bowl the channel, stay patient, don't drop catches. Ashwin will have a role to play. In that one ball yesterday, he got turned. He did get turned. Can he kind of play? Do not give them loose runs. Do not. Yesterday, you started straying on the leg stump. And for example, Mohammad Siraj, for example, Nitish Kumar Reddy. India all of a sudden allowed loose runs. Australia was scoring at under 2, and it became close to 3. See, if you ask me, this is Australia's game. From here on, I don't see Australia really losing this. Having said that, if India has an incredible morning, it has we don't play pink ball. The problem with us bowling with the pink ball yesterday is because we don't play pink ball. We were not able to get the lines. You are playing pink ball for 8 days a year. That's what you are. Not even 8 days. 8 days a year, and you think you have mastered it and you will be able to do it. It is not possible. Practice makes a man perfect. If I ask you to anchor for 8 days a year, will you be able to anchor? Simple enough. If I ask Bharat to write 8 days a year and for the rest of the 357 days, no, he will write in Hindi. Will he be able to write English articles like that? It's simple. It's simple logic. India doesn't play pink ball cricket, even in our domestic cricket. And you will not get it right, however much you try. So India is facing an uphill battle. So face that. Some fool is asking, stop collaborating with Pakistan YouTubers. Boss, we don't collaborate with Pakistan YouTubers. Don't spam it here. We have got nothing to do with Pakistan YouTubers. They can go to hell, as far as I'm concerned. Ashwin injured, no. So the point today morning is, if you ask me what Bharat Arun used to do, Bharat Arun used to take the bowlers back at the end of a relatively bad day, sit them down, and ask them, when you're at the top of your bowling mark, you must have an idea where you wanted to bowl. Is it in the channel? Is it on middle stump? Is it on off stump? Where? And the bowler would say, this is what it is. That's when Bharat asked, so did you land it there? He said, yes, no. If the answer is yes, that you landed the ball there and the batsman played a great shot, fine. But if you were not able to land it there, you have your answer. That where you need to land the ball today. That is how he used to treat the bowling group. I am sure Mone Mokal and Gautam Gambhir and Rohit Sharma and whatever the leadership group must have done that exercise. I am expecting a far more disciplined Indian attack this morning, Gargi.
Devashish, okay, we have a super chat here. Let's take this one. Nomad Tibet, welcome back. We've seen you after very long. He's saying, I believe Indians who live abroad are more supportive of test matches. I have never witnessed a stadium full of fans in India for a test match. Australia is also there.
This guy has always been supportive of our platform.
Yes.
Nomad Tibet. Thank you very much for coming back. Always been supportive and asks positive questions, interesting questions. Devashish, take that.
Yeah, obviously, when it comes to Australia and England, you will always get fans crowding up for test matches. Means test matches is the main format as far as Australia and England are concerned. India, to some extent, yes, when there are big teams coming. But if you talk about Australia, obviously the Test cricket still is the most followed format as far as the cricket is concerned. Yes, you might get the full house in T20 matches, but as you can witnessing this for the day night test matches, the first two test matches days are sold out. Boxing Day first day test, the first day is sold out. New Year's Day first day is sold out. So these are the traditional days of Test cricket here in Australia. Irrespective of who the opponents are, you will always get full house, be it a Boxing Day or a New Year's Day or a day night Test matches, and that has what has been we are witnessing here, Kargi.
Okay. Bharat, why don't you? Sorry, not this one. Good to Great is asking, morning all. India need to make early inroads. Bumrah should get enough backing from other pacers also. Fielders should convert half chances into wickets and can't afford dropping catches to stay alive. Pretty much sums up what India needs to do. But Bharat, your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously, see, India are behind in the game, so they have to stick to the basics. It's all about sticking to the basics. With a pink ball, tends to skid. You need to pitch it up a little more. You need to pitch it up a little more. You need to make the batter play. Someone like Max Penny is a very defensive player. Marnus Labuschagne is also a very defensive player. These two batters won't come at you. They won't play too many shots. They will try to leave deliveries on length. So you have to get the lines a little bit closer, the lens a little bit fuller, so that you make these two defensive batters play, and that is how you can get to batters like Labuschagne or Max Venny out. Because Max Venny, if you notice, even if it's slightly, even if it's somewhat on off stump, is trusting the bounce and trying to leave deliveries. That's a clear sign that you have to go at the batter. The batter won't come at you like some Harry Brook or some Yashasvi Jaiswal kind of come at the bowler. But this kind of batters are different. So you have to make them play, get the edges, and obviously Rishabh Pant hopefully will take the catches. Yes, already some stat I saw that he's dropped 8 or 10 catches of Jasprit Bumrah across a couple of formats in the last couple of years or whatever. So for some reason, it's not picking Bumrah as well. Not just batters, even Rishabh Pant doesn't seem to pick Jasprit Bumrah. So he has to take the catches. The slip fielders have to take the catches. So a lot of things have to go India's way if they have to really bounce back in this test match, because they are pretty much behind.
Boryata, there's a question for you here from Crick Maniac. Indians struggle with line, lengths on swinging pitches. That's why they lose in England, New Zealand, and recently Bangalore. We bowl better on bouncy or seaming pitches. By the way, great coverage. What do you
I
say? What
don't,
do you have to say?
I don't think we struggle. With our batting let us down in England, not the bowling. Except that one off Bumrah test where England chased down 378. That was where you could have said yes, we struggled with the ball. But otherwise, 2-1, 2-1 when in that 2021 series in England, you were 2-1 up when that COVID cancellation happened. Your bowlers did not struggle. Your bowlers absolutely not. In fact, that was one of the best Indian bowling efforts that I have seen. The intensity was tremendous. Uh, Pink ball is different, like I said earlier, and good question by the way. Pink ball is different because you don't play pink ball. You don't play pink ball, and that's the problem. Unless because you don't get it. It's the ball feels different in the hand. Yesterday, the point that Bharat made. If you see that dropped catch of McSweeney, he squared up, and then the ball kept traveling. The ball kept going. Rishabh Pant thought it was his catch. It was actually a first slip catch. Rohit was down. The ball was straight going to Rohit's hand. That's when the glove touched, and the ball just sprayed about a couple of inches. Rohit lost it. So Rishabh Pant unfortunately couldn't understand that the extra that the ball was going. It just happened like this, and it kept going. So these are things. And by the way, Rishabh Pant doesn't practice with the pink ball. India doesn't play pink ball in domestic cricket. So that is the issue. You have to understand why it happens with the pink ball. In Brisbane, it won't happen. I guarantee you it won't happen. Because these guys are far more comfortable with the red ball, and they'll be fine. If anyone thinks, a lot of people were saying yesterday 4-1, bullshit. All that is complete nonsense. 4-1, etc., etc., is not happening. This is going to be a far closer series than anyone imagines. Australia always had the edge with pink ball. What I am saying is, based on yesterday's experience, these are experienced players. They should be able to get it right today. That's the difference. I hope there will be more discipline. I hope there will be more intensity with captaincy. Rohit should not let the lack of runs play on his mind as captain. Get the bowlers on. I would have tried a Bumrah second spell for 3 overs. Get the bowlers on. Keep the intensity going. There, by the way, wickets will fall in a heap. India also got a partnership, Gargi, 70 runs. Then 3 wickets fell in 3 overs. It will fall in a heap. That's how pink ball is. You will lose wickets in a cluster. So you have to stay in the game and stay patient. If you don't do that, this game will run away from you.
Absolutely, it's all about breaking that rhythm of the batters and breaking that momentum of a partnership going. But adding to what Boria sir said, when we talk about not practicing with pink ball, it's not only when the ball is being bowled that it's swinging. When you're taking a catch, when it's in the air, when the batter has hit it, it swings that time also. So you have to think of all these things, that when it's in the air, if there's a catch being if there's an opportunity for a catch, the ball will swing. And if you're not practicing with the ball, it's difficult to kind of judge where you have to stand or how much you have to move with it. And these are the kind of little things that do make a difference in a high pressure game. But Devashish, moving on from that, a lot of people saying one dropped catch and Pant is lacking wicket keeping skills. What do you think?
Yesterday there was a tweet, Devashish. I thought I had screenshotted it. I would have sent it to you. It said, "This hippo quote Pant is an absolute useless something. KL Rahul should keep wickets." My exact problem with trolls. And it had the buy that Bumrah had bowled, where the ball kept swinging and went for four, and there was abuse on Pant. This is the problem with Indian cricket fandom. Devashish.
Yeah, very unfortunate to see this kind of things happening. But as far as practice is concerned, Gargi, when in the first practice session that the Indians had, you remember the open session, open session for the fans. That day, Indian team practiced for a good 1 hour only for catching and fielding
Yeah.
practice. So yes, and this is not something that in the BCCI and the itinerary has been sent to BCCI in 2-3 months. It has been known for quite a few months. So obviously there has to be there had to be some proper planning. And yes, India last played a pink ball test match was in back in 2022, where they won that test match in Bengaluru. But since then, Indians have not practiced. Now that it was already known that there will be a pink ball fixture in Adelaide, so they should have planned in such a way so that they get extend. Yes, they have done nothing wrong. That Prime Minister game was for 2 days. It unfortunately rain due to rain it got cancelled, so they had to play a 50 over a side match. But clearly they had a planning in place to practice with the pink ball, and they had 10 days gap between the first test and sixth test and the second test. So there were plenty of time for them to train, which they did. But unfortunately, see, catches they are bound to you are bound to drop catches. It has happened so with the Australian team in the first test. They dropped so many catches in that first test at part. So just don't pinpoint anyone, Rishabh for that matter, Rishabh Pant or anyone, because when it comes to be practicing, when it comes to sincere effort, none of the team members none of the players in this team lack that. They are very honest and they really work hard during their practice drills. And so yes, unfortunately that catch means yes, but all they have to ensure that today they should not let go any missed chances, because any semblance of a chance the Australian can pile huge runs. Actually, this might be Australia's day today. If you ask me, it's a bright sunny day. So and with the ball already 30 overs, so Australia and with both Maxwini and Labuschagne stitching a partnership, so it may well turn out to be Australia's day until unless that twilight sets in. So Australia will look forward to get a lead by before the twilight sets in. So any lead over 200, India will have all the catching up to do to save this test match.
Yeah.
He's
No, I wasn't
100%
saying
right.
that
There. He's 100% right. It is going to be Australia's day from every
Yeah.
logic. India will have to play out of their skins, be far more disciplined than they were to have a match out of it. Shagnik is asking, all our reporters were saying Virat Kohli was looking good at the nets. But looking good at the nets and out in the middle, different matter. And by the way, with every respect to Virat, the way he played in Perth, the real deal in Perth was Jaiswal and Rahul. They had already set it up. That opening partnership won you the match. Virat did not. Jasprit Bumrah and that opening partnership between KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal won India that test match. My understanding of Virat, he's one of the greatest. But from the last 4 or 5 years, you will not get that same consistency with Virat, and he has a problem. So Rohit Sharma problem, Virat Kohli problem. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. Will it be the same Virat Kohli with the same consistency between 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18? No, it won't be. If I am proved wrong, I would be the biggest whatever happiest person in the world. But I don't see that happening. I also have a problem with Gill. I have a problem with Gill because when Virat was at his prime, Virat got a 30, he would make it a 130. When Tendulkar was at his prime, Tendulkar got into a 30-40, he would make it 140. When Gill was batting as sublime as he was playing unbelievably well. You convert, you don't give it up with a 30. A superb 30 doesn't make any sense. I've written it today. That is my column today, that a superb 30 in test match cricket makes nothing. Nothing. You have to convert that. Think if Gill got 130, Nitish Reddy 40, everybody would be rotating, revolving around that 130 and India would get 300. That is my problem. It will not be the Rohit Sharma of 2021. It will not be the Virat Kohli of 2018. And you have to face this reality. But they're still your best. You have seen a Devdutt Padikkal. Did he look the part? You don't have a backup lineup as yet to be able to replace a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma. So face that. Basis this, you have to know that your other batters, a Gill, a Pant, a Jaiswal, a Rahul, these guys will have to put their hands up. And Gill and Rahul were doing it. Sadly, after that partnership, had it been a 100 partnership, things would be different. That's when the problem happened yesterday. And within a moment, 70 for 1 became 80 for 4. Game done. With a captain who is low on confidence walking in, ball coming in, same nip backer, same. And look at that gap between bat and pad. That is where my worry is for Rohit Sharma. My worry for Rohit Sharma is not because he got out. My worry for Rohit Sharma is look at the way he got out. The gap between bat and pad tells me there is a problem. Rohit was trying to address that problem in the nets. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked. Australia knows it. Rohit knows it. Can he come out of that is the issue here.
Yeah. And also one bad day and everyone's saying Jaiswal is a bad player, Rishabh is a bad player. What is this? That's not how it works. You can't expect you. Let's be honest. You guys weren't expecting India to win 4-0, right? There would be a time when Australia would come back. This is cricket. This is not.
Hand on heart, did anyone expect India to win in Perth in 3 days? Anyone? Not one person will tell you we were expecting India to win in. After 150, how many people were thinking India will win? Tell me. Out of 1 billion people sample size, 1 billion would have said India would have lost. So let's not jump ahead and start criticizing these players. They have earned their spot. There are selectors for a reason who get ₹1 crore as salary. They are doing a job. That's why they've been picked. Rohit doesn't have a back channel, or Virat doesn't have a back channel, or somebody else. They have been picked on merit. So let's give it to them. Yeah, Australia had a perfect day. They are a good side. How is it so different and difficult to understand that Australia will have a good day? That's what happened. Australia was the better team. With pink ball, they are the better team. Mitchell Starc knows how to bowl better with the pink ball. Face it. That's what happened.
Anyway, we have another super chat from Nomad Tibet. Sadly, today, fans lacking patience and judging only by 1 game. That's why we Indians are more supportive for T20 than Test match. Devashish, your thoughts on what Nobad has to say? Very short-lived memory.
Hello to Ringzit. Obviously, he has been a great friend of ours, both me and Ishan. But then, talking about the memories of Indian fans short-lived, yes, they are. They are. Means one day they might cheer for you, and the other day they might throw you in gutters. So that is the problem with the Indian fans. You look at the Australian fans. You don't have to go anywhere. You look at the Australian fans. Australia did miserably bad in the first test match. So what happened? Except for the media and the ex-cricketers, did any of the Australian fans did anything against them, against the players? Rather, they cheered they cheered the players as they were entering, and that is what you want. Means it is the fans who make these players, so they should be held because they give their everything on the field. No player in world cricket, be it an Australian player or an Indian player or an England player or any player for that matter, you earn that cap, you earn that test cap by your sheer hard work, by your sheer hard work, blood, sweat, determination. You earn that test cap. So you think that the players will take a lackadaisical approach and just give a casual approach? I don't buy that at all, because everyone, each and every player give out their best, try their best, give their best effort. Yes, unfortunately, there will be days when you cannot hold on to a catch, cannot score a big knock when you have been playing brilliantly, as was the case with Shubman Gill. He was looking excellent for a big knock. But unfortunately, but one fine day you might see that Shubman Gill missing and aging, but he will go on to score 100. So this is what cricket is. My suggestion to the fans is to be patient and back your players, because if this is the Indian team, which and yes, one bad day. It was only one bad day, the first day of the test match. So there are 4 more days. This is what a test match is all about. So the fans need to be patient.
Gargi, play the comment by Rider Triple X. This is what I want in fans. He says, I will behave. Boss, that's it. Welcome. As long as you know that this is a serious platform, you are 100% welcome. All of us make mistakes. Each one of us. Is there one person in this world who will put hand on heart and say, I've not made a mistake? Then he's God. Then he is God. I'm so delighted that you've said this. Apologies for my older comments. Finished. You are more than welcome. Job done. You are part of us as well. Every fan. This is a platform by journalists for journalists. This is a platform for fans. That's it. Story over. That's why I love what we do. There is no reason for me to say 9 people will travel to Australia. Why are we doing it? Because we want to break new ground in sports coverage. We want to experiment. We want to bring you the story of this little kid who is walking with the grandmother. Look at that little kid walking with the grandmother. What is the story of that kid? If I ask Devashish to do that today, Devashish will say, so will I not take photographs? Then I will ask for photographs. Each person is working a 16-hour day. When the match ends, it's 10 p.m. Adelaide time. Think about it. Then Devashish and the others work between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. on our live show. Then they have to go back to the hotel, sleep, get ready in the morning. So it's a 16,
We have to
17 hours.
we also record a Bangla chat and the Hindi. Subayan and Rohit does a Hindi live.
Exactly. So please think about these things. I've been on tour way more than any one of these guys, and that's why I have my gray hairs. When you are on tour, it is extremely challenging, because you if Devashish today misses a story, as his editor, it is my job to say, why did you miss this story? So he has to continuously be on the money, and in doing it, he's actually missing all of these stories that you're seeing outside. What we are seeing, and including the host broadcaster, is not complete coverage. What you are seeing is Bumrah talking with Virat Kohli inside. You are seeing the 22 yards. You are not doing coverage like the way you must do. Every sofa set is coverage. Every household is coverage. Everything. Think about it. Think. There is an Indian diaspora. This Nomad Tibet guy, I think, is in America, Devashish, right?
Yeah, he stays in America.
Right. So imagine this huge Indian diaspora in the United States, which is watching the cricket match in Australia. Have you ever thought that you want to bring that fan within your coverage? How that fan is celebrating or feeling disappointed with an Indian win or loss? No, because he doesn't matter. He's not in Australia, so he doesn't matter. How can that be? How can that be? I thought COVID allowed us. I thought the host broadcaster or anyone should ask for clips from people across the world, merge it into live coverage, and give us that fan feel. That's when you expand. You also open up economic opportunities for sponsorship. You open up an American market, an Australian market, an English market. I have always felt sports coverage is just scratching the surface. Just scratching the surface. And that's where I want to make a difference with Rev Sports with all my colleagues. So we will see how it goes. But coming to today, my point is let's be patient, because this is going to be a hard day for India. It will be a hard day. Somebody was saying Rohit does this every day. I don't know who said it. Boss, if he does it every day, do you think the selectors who are sitting out there are idiots to pick him as captain of India? They have a job to do. They are answerable, accountable. So nobody is doing that. And that is where fan fickleness. Why did I name my book 11 Gods and a Billion Indians? What is the opposite of God? Do it, dog. So one day we will say God, the next day we will say dog. And that's how we are as fans. And that is my problem, Gargi.
Bharat, there's a super chat here. Sarvesh Gaurav is saying Stokes has a point. It's easy for Asian countries to not get penalized for slow over as WWU spinners biased rule. Bharat, take it.
I don't want to get too much into it. See, obviously, he might have a point that with spinners coming into play, that it's easier to finish your quota of overs. But finally, there is a rule, there's a structure. It is for you to make sure that the bowlers ball within that stipulated period of time. So it's England's problem that they tend to ball slowly with 4 fast bowlers around and they get over rates. Yes, the one thing you can say in Stokes' favor is you go back to the 2023 Ashes. I think Usman Khawaja is a part of some cricketers association, Australian Cricketers Association or whatever. I tried to kind of had negotiations with ICC, and England were kind of penalized more, because what happened was they were getting bowled out within 80 overs. So they slowly changed that particular rule, and by saying that if your team gets bowled out for under less than 80 overs, then over it. You won't be penalized by your points getting docked. That really helped Australia, because England were always getting bowled out under 80 overs. So that point you can tell, but rule is a rule. So it is for England and Ben Stokes to ensure that they bowl within that stipulated period of time. They have not been doing it. That is why they won't be in the World Test Championship final, because they have won 11 games, lost 9. They were in contention, but for that stupidity related to over it's not compiling as per the rule, that really resulted in England not being in the World Test Championship final.
Good answer, Bharat. Love the answer. Rule is a rule. Vinesh Fogart 100 grams. Rule is a rule. Ray Higuchi 50 grams. Olympic gold medal kissed goodbye. Take this comment by Shubham Sharma Gargi. Take this comment. Why bad days happen to India only? Centurion, Cape Town, Bangalore, Hyderabad, etc., etc. Folks, Shubham, you're a serious watcher. Why is it that India made the WTC final twice? Why? Because India won, right? There are 10 teams playing. You are the only country that has made back-to-back WTC finals. And by the way, you're still in contention for this one. So your team has done reasonably well to be able to do that. So if India was consistently losing, would you have made the 2 WTC finals? Would you still be in contention for a one? Yes, this one you will not qualify. That's point taken. But you are still in contention ahead of the New Zealand series. And now, even today, you are still in contention. So why is it that you guys are only going to highlight this? Why is it that you guys are only going to highlight you were able to beat Australia? Australia in 2018 had Travis Head, Steve Smith, Marnus Labuschagne. Smith was suspended. But all Pat Cummins, Josh Hazelwood, Mitchell Stark, all of the guys played in 21. All of the guys are playing in 24. Same guys. Have they been junked? Have they been thrown out? Have they been rejected? Have they been kicked out by Australian fans? So why is it that you guys are saying it about Indians? India is the only team that has not been, been able to. Australia has not been able to beat India in last 10 years. 10 years, for God's sake. Incredible record. Kargi, I think you need to go let Debashish go with one question. So ask him, and because he has
Okay.
to take a position.
Okay, final question, Debashish. Rohit Sharma, let's talk about his captaincy. Yesterday, there were some things that could have been done better, but today, he has to be on the money to make sure that India make a comeback.
Yeah, obviously he need to be positive, and by positive I mean that he need to keep close catching every time. Every time he needs to, because there will be chances offered with this pink ball, and so there has to be player in the catching position. I'm talking about the slip catching. It will be very very important because there will be edges. There is bound to be edges. So Indians need to grab those opportunities. See, India can only bounce back into the match by way of their catching, as there is a saying that catches win you matches. So they need to grab each and every opportunities that come their way, and for that the captain needs to back their bowlers by way of putting fielders in catching positions. I mean, slip catching positions. There, and he needs to be more attacking. Yes, Australian will try to score runs, try to take singles and score of the loose deliveries, but at least for the first session, you need to keep fielders at close positions, particularly to grab those opportunities.
Thank you so much, Debashish, for joining us. You can take your leave now. Let's go to Bharat now. We have a lot of comments, so we'll try to take a few of them. Um, Suman Avasthi, Bharat, you take this one. Do you think our bowlers don't have enough control over the pink ball? So not sure about going bit full length in many times. They did bowl, went for a four down the leg. So basically, they were bowling. The line wasn't right.
Yeah, I guess, see, one of the things that goes against the current Indian pace attack is all of them tend to kind of hit the pitch a little more rather than, I will put it in quotation marks, get it to kiss the surface. That is, get the ball to kiss the surface. That's not the way the current Indian pace attack bowls. If you look at Hashit Rana, if you look at Mohammad Siraj, and another one is a seam bowler, Jasprit Bumrah can swing the ball a little bit, but still someone with this action is going to hit the pitch a little more. So I guess that's one of the problems. That is why I wrote a couple of articles that maybe Akashdeep is kind of suited to the pink ball. He's not exactly a swing bowler with a straight seam grip. He's also a little bit of a seam bowler, but it definitely gets the ball to kiss the surface, and I think that is the way to go in these conditions with a pink ball. If you look at even Mitchell Stark, obviously he's a swing bowler. He gets the ball to little bit kiss the surface, get it to float it a little bit, compared to say Pat Cummins. Yeah, Scott Boland is someone again who gets the ball. He's not hit the pitch bowler. The one who hit the pitch hard, someone like Pat Cummins, his length was shorter, and he tended to hit the bat very hard. So that's something I guess doesn't go well with the pink ball. That's what I think is going against the Indian team. The nature of their attack, how their attack is. You look at the kind of attack India have. I guess it is not exactly suited to the pink ball test. They needed one bowler like Akashdeep who could get the ball to kiss the surface, or someone like Mukesh Kumar.
Upender Singh has a question here. What hurts most? What hurts more our batting effort? Last five matches, first inning score, no responsibility. Also, captaincy is defensive, no proactiveness. Why wasn't Ashwin bowled? At least try him. If not, then go back to the seamers. Boria.
You know, in a pink ball test match, you do try with your seamers. I thought Jasprit Bumrah's second spell was more in line rather than Ashwin. Yes, you could have checked the bounce with Ashwin for a couple of overs, but all of this happens when a day doesn't go well. All of the criticism comes their way. So that's why I keep saying there will be days when the opponent will be better. The opponent is also a very good side. It's an Australian side in reckoning for a WTC final. Against the pink ball, they are the better team, so they will have better days. It is only natural in sport. Coming to the first innings issue, that's what we've been saying. New Zealand, unfortunately, but if you take before that, India has been in reckoning. India has done well. I don't think this test match is going to be an index for this series, and I'm saying it openly. I am not. I will 100% say Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, red ball, different story. Pink ball is a different story for India. This is a far closer series. WTC final is a different matter. But this series, and by the way, one off WTC final is never an index for a championship. I've always said that. India Australia is the unofficial World Test Championship going on at this point in time. Look at New Zealand. After beating India, they're getting hammered by England. Look at New Zealand. No team is consistent. Look at Sri Lanka. They're 250 something or whatever for three, 242 for three, I think. 116 runs behind against South Africa. Sri Lanka win this one. There is another upset there. Somebody said we are only good at home. I'm sorry. We were the ones to beat Australia in Australia. We won test matches in England. We did not lose to South Africa. A couple of times it has ended 1-1. Even the last time ended 1-1. Before that was 2-1. So we have been consistently winning. And by the way, Australia also, if you are saying that we've made WTC final good to cricket, I think, or somebody like that, said that we have won at home. Australia played us at home and lost twice. So why did Australia not win? Let's not discredit the team. Let's not discredit the team. We had a bad day yesterday. It can happen. I also think it will be a good day for Australia today. I think they will dominate this test match. And that is why I keep saying we've got to be patient. This is a 5-test series. It's not a 1-test series. Perth done. India has won the series. No. Had India got a bad this thing in Perth, you still have to. This is a 5-test series. Australia will come back. Brisbane, India has to fight. Melbourne has to fight. Sydney has to. So this is a 5. That's why it's a 5-test series, for God's sake. When have you last played a 5-test series in Australia? I don't remember one. Maybe the 99, no. 2003-4, no. 2007-8, no. 2011-12, no. 14-15, no. 18, no. 21, no. Now. So these players have never played a 5-test series in Australia. This is a new thing. One test match doesn't do anything. So keep patience. Having said that, I do expect a better and a more disciplined effort from India today.
Another super chat from Nomad Tibet. Lately, why don't we use spinner and fast mixed, Bharat?
Yeah, see, I reiterate that same point. This is a ping ball test. So you would rather have fast bowlers bowling most of your overs. I agree. Ashwin could have bowled a couple more overs yesterday, but especially under twilight zone, look at the twilight zone, you look at night conditions, you would want your fast bowlers to bowl. So I don't think that was a mistake somewhere else. There was perhaps a mistake. Someone like Rohit Sharma was very experienced. He could have told the bowlers to pitch it a little fuller and get his line straighter. That those things he could have said. Maybe the whatever action I watched yesterday, it seemed like fields could have been a little more attacking at some situations at some point of time. This kind of pointers, Rohit Sharma could have tried to rectify, tried to correct. But I'm not sure about using a spinner and fast bowler for too many overs in a ping ball test, especially in those conditions. The ball was doing definitely enough off the seam, a little bit in the air as well, during twilight zone and during night conditions. So in those conditions, you expect fast bowlers to bowl most of the overs.
Let's take a final few comments before we close the show, because play starts in a few minutes. Siddharth is asking, Boryada, I feel always what? I feel always bringing WTC context in BW decades old rivalry of India Australia is idiotic. Any day we want to win this series, it is same as UCL or club.
I agree with him. I agree with him because this series for me is far more important than a one-off WTC final. You will play the WTC final within 7 days of the IPL ending. You'll never win. As long as it's England, which now will change hopefully, you will go there at the end of the IPL, though the IPL now will end a little early, so maybe you will get a few more days. But the truth is a one-off WTC final is no index. Tell me, why is the WTC final in England? Tell me, why should an Indian team be asked to play a WTC final consistently in England? Why not in subcontinent? Why not in Sri Lanka? Why not in Bangladesh? Give Australia there, get another team there. Why should it be in England? Why will the so-called England, Australia, New Zealand kind of teams, which have better records in England, Australia, that kind of conditions, be allowed to play there? Are you not handing them an advantage? You are. One of WTC final makes no sense to me. Never has. The truth of the matter is, this is a massive series. According to me, if India is competitive in this series and if India wins this series, it will be one of the greatest victories in the history of Indian cricket. Greatest victories in the 3 times beating Australia down under, 18, 21 and now, will be the greatest victory ever in the history of Indian cricket. Can India do it? We've got to wait and see. I do think India will be competitive. According to me, Australia will win this one. Australia will win this one. It will be 1-1. Brisbane will be competitive. Melbourne and Sydney, India will be very, very competitive because India will know those conditions. Drop in wicket, Melbourne. Sydney again. India has always been competitive in Sydney. I do give India a chance. I absolutely do. This one is Australia. If Australia doesn't win this one, I've been saying this for ages now. If Australia doesn't win this one, it was done. I do think Australia will win ping pong. I think it will be 1-1 going into Brisbane. Brisbane, Melbourne, and Sydney will decide the series with all to play for. India has a great chance in Melbourne and Sydney, and Brisbane, they'll take heart from what they did in 21. That's my prediction. Happy to be proved wrong.
And finally, Bharat and Boria, last question to you. What does India need to do? Let's not talk about a comeback because that's very difficult. But at this point, India needs to take control of the situation and at least, come back into the game. So, Bharat, what do you think? What should be the strategy, at least in the first session?
There's no real strategy. See, it's sticking to basics. It's all about breaking it down to basics in these sort of situations. You understand that you are behind in the game. Just get your lens right. Just get your lines right. Make the batters play. I understand it's 33-old ball, but still you have to make the batter play. Usually the template in Australian conditions is the first 25-30 overs, you have to bowl it a little fuller. You have to make the batter play. After that, you can shift your line a little bit to outside off, and then maybe have a bowler who can hit the pitch hard. But what has happened here is because India didn't get it right yesterday, they have to bowl it like they were bowling with a new ball because they need wickets. So they have to take a little bit of risk. Even if Australia get a few boundaries away, it's fine. If you're bowling full, it is fine. If you're getting your lines right, it's fine. So they have to bowl it like it is a new ball. They have new cherry in their hands, and hope to pick up wickets. And obviously catches have to be taken. So yeah, it's about sticking to basics, sticking to simple things, ensuring that if India don't get the lines right, if Rohit Sharma can't see, then at least someone from the backroom staff send a message across, maybe during a short break, that you're not getting your lines right, that you're not getting your lines right. So yeah, this kind of things the coaching staff can do, and hope that a little bit of rub of the green goes your way. Like the batters don't get beaten on the outside edge, they will edge a few to the cordon, and yeah, the catches need to be taken. It's all about sticking to basics.
Boria, final comments?
Bharat said it well. Bharat said it well. I mean, Ravi Shankar Kumar, England is the best place because there is no place where you can play Test cricket in June. Who's asked you to play in June? Don't play in June. Who's asked you that the World Test Championship final has to be in the first week of June? Don't. It's the World Test Championship final. Give it the importance and play it in October, November, December, January, February. Who's asked you to say, is it set in stone? Is the World Cup set in stone? If FIFA could move the World Cup because of Qatar, what is the problem in moving it from June? Think about it, yeah. Think about it. That is what it is important for. Context. Always think. Always think. Coming back to the answer that Gargi asked me, boss, listen, you've got to have intensity. This is Test cricket. Take the first 1 hour, break it down. Take the first half an hour, break it down. Tell your bowlers, look, this is what I expect. The captain has to lead. No wicket, no wicket, no wicket. Rohit Sharma has to lead. Has to keep the intensity going. His job. Keep it going. Put fielders there. You will know. You do a box field. You save runs and try and keep catching positions. It's simple. You've got to have discipline. If you have discipline, suppose Australia gets about 50 runs in the first 2 overs. What are you doing? You're actually pushing it towards the twilight zone because it will get difficult to bat on. 50 runs of 2 wickets in the first 2 overs. India will take it because you've been able to control the run flow. You've got to be far more disciplined than you were yesterday, and you've got to believe that we can compete. That's what it is. One bad day doesn't define a test match. Having said that, I do think this is Australia's game. India has a lot of catching up to do, but as I said, happy to be proved wrong, and I want to see intensity. Even if India loses, by the way, even if India loses, I want to see intensity from this side. I want to see proactive captaincy from Rohit Sharma. I want to see intensity. I want to see good second innings application. I want to see them pushing Australia. Even if you lose, doesn't matter. You stay competitive because that's what makes Test match cricket what it is.
With that, we'll take your leave. It will be an interesting session to watch, an exciting day coming up ahead for India and Australia as well. So we'll be back at tea, which is at 11:30. So don't forget to join us then. Thank you so much, Bharat, Boria, and